Hello, families. I am excited to share with you a new tool that your student will be using during their math homework time called Assistments. Assistments will give them feedback on as they work on the homework, their correct and incorrect answers to help strengthen their understanding of daily lessons. So to get started, I want you to notice what my layout looks like. On one side, you can see I've got the math Eureka page open to my homework assignment. And that's what I want students to do. I want them to just go into their math workbook as they normally do and go ahead and complete the homework on paper. That's important. I want them to be still completing their work with pencil to paper for each of their homework assignments. Then, when it's time for them to check their work, they are going to have their assignment open, and then they're going to come to Google Classroom and they're going to click on the link to get into Assessments. So their link will always be in Google Classroom in math, and I will clearly label it as homework for each day. When they click on it, they will then see the link to Assessments, so they just simply click on it. We are going to have the students sign in and establish their accounts during school, but then once they are established, they go ahead and click on their name and log in with their credentials. If it asks them for their password, they would go ahead and put in their password, their same Google password as they would always use. All right, so this is what Assessments looks like. Students are going to see one problem at a time, and their job then is to go ahead and answer each of the questions. So this is why I think it's really important for them to see the questions. Let me go ahead and move myself over here. They need to see the problem from the workbook, and then they need to look at what does that look like here on the screen, because it is going to be a little bit tricky and something to get used to as they are trying to put in the answers. So I can see right here 6 times 3 equals, and I can see the array that is listed here. And so I need to really pay attention to these directions. Fill in the first blank. So my first blank is up here at the top. And so I'm looking back at my page and I can see that my answer is 18. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the answer box. I'm going to pick 18 and then I'm going to submit my answer. I can instantly see that this is correct because my box turned green, and that tells me that I got it correct. I can see 100%, which shows that yes, I have completed this problem and now I'm ready for the next problem. So I'm going to click on next problem. All right, now it says fill in the second blank. So this is where we're really going to have to get used to this workflow. Students will be able to figure this out, I know, but it's going to be sometimes a little tricky because, well, let's make sure we understand where the second blank is. Here's the first blank on one side. Here's the second blank. 2 times 3 equals 6. So that's right here as well. That's the second blank. I'm going to go ahead and put in 6, and I'm going to submit the answer. Okay, next problem. And as you can see, as I'm working through this problem, I can show that I am making progress because I see my check marks. Okay, then I see now the next part of this problem. So 12 plus something equals something. I can see that back on my original worksheet. And 6 times 3 equals something. So it says, again, fill in the first blank. So that's that first blank after 12 plus. So I'm looking back at my work. That is a 6. And I submit my answer. Next problem. Okay, so we're going to continue working this way. Fill in the second blank. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like if I put in the incorrect answer. So I'm going to put in 16, and it says, sorry, try again. 16 is not correct. Great. Hey, remember, we learn a lot from making mistakes. So I want students to understand to go back, and their job will be to try and figure out what their error was. This is where their best learning is going to happen. So I celebrate these mistakes. And I am not worried when I see 67% or 33%. This is simply just telling me that a student persevered in their problem solving, which to me is an amazing skill that I want to make sure that kids are recognizing and celebrating. So I'm going to go ahead and put in another answer. I can see it's still not correct. Sorry, try again. 12 is not correct. I'm going to try another answer. I put my cursor back in here, try another answer. 10 is not correct. And I can stay here the whole time and continue to work. But if I really, really get stuck and I just cannot figure out where my error is, then I'm going to click on show answer. So when it says show answer, it's going to give me the correct answer. I am going to need to go ahead and put that in, and then I'm going to submit an answer. Now, I will see each time a student puts show answer. So what I'm looking for with the students is that they tried multiple answers. And then if they really could not move on, they should show answer and they should figure out, like, why was that answer 18? And I didn't understand that it was 18. And they should again be reflecting on their work to figure out where their error is. A report that shows me that students continuously click on show answer instead of putting in the answer initially on their own is telling me that they need extra support with math, which I will definitely address with them the next day. And so those data reports are going to be really important for me to continue to understand what my students' needs are. So you can see again up here, you can see kind of what the progress looks like. I can see the check marks, I can see the X with a yellow circle behind it, which means that the student actually did not get it on the first, second, or third try, and they also had a show answer button. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and click on the next problem. I'm filling in the third blank. So this is 18, submit answer, and I'm moving on, okay? So we can continue to see that this is going to work its way through the worksheet, and my job as a student is to continue to track where I am in the worksheet. You can see on problem number 2, it kind of started at the top of the screen again, and then as I'm filling in each of these blanks, it's going to build towards the bottom, so it's going to kind of help me drill down into the problem, and then it will refresh when I get to a new original problem. So here I am again, and I'm going to continue to do this work, and I'm going to speed this up so you can see just kind of what it looks like as I continue to put in all of this information. All right. We're back, and I'm going to go ahead and look at my next page of my homework. So again, I'm going to make sure that my homework is in front of me as I am working. So sometimes in our problems, we're going to see places where the students are drawing and writing. And so we're going to look at some of those question types to see how would a student input this into assessments. So the first thing is I'm going to see my directions again for fill in the first blank. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So here's my first blank over it here, 5 times 3 equals 15. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the 5, submit the answer, go to next problem, fill in the second blank. I'm going to go ahead and click on 1 and click on next problem. And then I'm going to get this prompt. Draw the array on paper, take a picture, and upload it using the upload icon. So there's a little editor down here to allow me to upload a picture. At this time, I am not going to have students do that. That's something that I will bring online with them eventually. But as we are learning this new program, I am not going to require that of students. I do require, though, the students are putting this into their math workbook. So just because they're not taking a picture and adding it, they should continue to draw these pictures. These pictures are key for them to understand what they're doing with their math. So those need to continue to be expected of them during their homework time. When it says take a picture, upload it, and it says if you do not have the ability, or in my case, I am not requiring this, type in array is on paper. So you have to type something into this box so that I can see that. You cannot just leave this blank and submit answer. It will tell you have to put something in. So if you just say array is on paper, or Mrs. Iwanski said I don't have to, either of those are fine. And then you're going to click the submit. It says answer is recorded, and then click on the next problem. So there will be several times where students do not have to upload their picture. Again, we are not going to work on that right now. We are going to save that until we get really good with assessments before we add that level in. Then the next problem is this explanation of a word problem. So again, this is the editor, and students will type this in. I am going to ask the students do this because we need to be practicing explaining our thinking, and this is another place that I am going to be able to give students feedback. They will not automatically have this scored for them because obviously with the open response nature of this, the computer cannot automatically grade it for them, but I will be able to grade this as part of their assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my answer here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and submit my answer. You could see that students have all the same tools that they're very used to using already because of the work that we've been doing. So these should not be unfamiliar to them. There are some other things over here that help them with math equations. This is not their grade math level, so they don't really need to worry about those. And then we're going to go ahead and submit the answer. And then it says answers recorded, click on next problem. But in this case, we are actually done with our assignment. So we're going to click on finish assignment. And then this is the part that, again, I want students to really get used to understanding is they can look right here and see the problems that they have completed, and they can see what their progress was. The blue circle over here indicates that I will be grading and giving them additional points for those. I'm going to go ahead and click on exit. And then here is, again, the report so they can see how their work was. And it will also help me to see how their work was as well. Here's that question H where I was not successful putting in the answers right away. So you can see it took me 2 tries before I got that in there. Again, mistakes are great. I want to see that kids continue to persevere. Up here is the yellow box from where I had to ask the computer to show me the answer so that I could move on. And that is flagging it for the student, but it's also flagging it again for the teacher. I will be able to see this in my reports and be able to help students on the next day or during that week during our math instruction. That is assessments. We will practice it. I welcome your feedback. I welcome students telling me what's working for them, what they're still confused about with this. But I am really excited about having a tool where students can get feedback on their work right away. They do really well when they get that feedback. And I think this is going to be a great tool to help them continue to build their math knowledge. Thanks.